Rangers are moving closer to addressing a key weakness in their squad as they edge towards completing a defensive signing, with pressure mounting on Russell Martin to steady results both domestically and in Europe. Reinforcing the backline has become a clear priority. The latest developments suggest the Ibrox club are finally set to make progress in securing much needed cover at the heart of defence. Let's break this down in today's video, along with all the other Rangers news from the last 24 hours. There is so much to discuss in today's video, so be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for daily Rangers content. But first, the fingers of blame were pointed in many directions. They usually are on occasions such as this, as supporters search for answers and look for an outlet for their anger. Those on the pitch rightly had to take their share of the responsibility, and their part in this embarrassment cannot be overlooked or forgiven. The man in the dugout ultimately carries the burden though. Once again, Rangers find themselves staring down a dead end with not a flicker of light to be seen. James Tavernier has been in that situation more than anyone else at the club over the last decade. The captain could never admit it publicly, but he will know what is now likely to come next after seeing the support turn on Russell Martin in such a manner. There are matches that managers just do not survive. This felt like that moment for Martin. This was his team in style and substance. Not for the first time in his Ibrox career, Tavernier had to attempt to find the answers to so many questions. "I feel angry," Tavernier said. "As a team, we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to apologise to the fans who went to Belgium and watch back at home. That's a standard of performance we haven't shown throughout Europe or even in domestic games, in terms of the level of the goals we conceded. Even when Max got sent off, we had to dig him out as a team and show some resilience, but we didn't do that with the manner of the goals we lost. We had a long hard chat in the changing room afterwards and held ourselves accountable. That's what we have to do if we're going to push forward as a team together. We know how early it is in the season, but our aspiration was to reach the Champions League. We have to quickly focus on the Celtic game. We understand the fans' outrage, that's only right. We have to now prove a point. We have to prove we belong in a Rangers top and put in performances they can appreciate. The gaffer gives us a game plan and we have to stick to it. We have to carry out whatever he tells us. Obviously it went up in the air on Wednesday night when Max was sent off, but it's a mistake. That happens in football. We have to react as a team. It wasn't like Broge had to do amazing things to score. We just didn't defend as a team as we should have. That's what makes me angry and why we have to hold our hands up." Rangers made the trip to Belgium knowing that the tie was all but over following the 3-1 defeat at Ibrox last week. Martin tried to paint a positive picture pre-match. Those that travelled would not have bought what he was selling. A club that reached the quarter-finals of the Europa League will find themselves back in that competition once again. The days of winning in Istanbul feel like such a long time ago. In truth, European endeavours mean nothing right now, especially with a must-win Old Firm came to come on Sunday. Tavernier has been around long enough to have seen it all before. Those who are new to Rangers have suffered a defeat that will leave them shocked and stunned. That's the thing, Tavernier said when reminded about the win over Fenerbahce last term. That's why we had that chat in the changing room, because we have to hold ourselves accountable for this. We had to look each other in the eye and say, this is the last time we'll ever feel like this. We're doing something we love every day. We're playing for our families, the supporters and the club. We have to produce better performances than that. It's as simple as that. I've told the players we have to make sure we never feel like that again. We know this weekend will be a tough game, and we know what the response from the fans will be after Bruges, so we have to stick together and put on a performance. It's a must win, just like every game here. They've been chucked in at the deep end. There's a lot of new players and they're starting to know the demands of this club. They're learning about different ways other teams play against us, which maybe they're not used to. But as a team, we have to rally, put demands on each other and stick together. Because that performance on Wednesday night can't happen again, no matter who you're playing. You can't concede 9 goals over 2 legs, you just can't. Now in a huge defender deal, Rangers look set to make a significant defensive addition, with Derek Cornelius reportedly closing in on a move from Marseille. The Canadian international and natural centre-back would inject much-needed experience and solidity into Russell Martin's backline as the Ibrox boss seeks to strengthen ahead of Monday's transfer deadline. The 27-year-old is no stranger to top-level football. Having developed his game with Vancouver Whitecaps and enjoyed a successful spell in Sweden with Malmo, Cornelius has spent the past year at French giants Marseille. He featured in 21 League One matches last season, as well as 2 French Cup ties, before starting the new campaign on the fringes, an unused substitute in the opener against Rennes, and handed only a late cameo in the win over Paris FC. Despite having 3 years left on his Marseille contract, transfer expert Fabrizio Romano reports that Cornelius is on the verge of a switch to Glasgow, with a medical already scheduled to take place in Paris. His pedigree on the international stage is also clear, having earned 35 caps for Canada to date, and Cornelius is not the only new arrival expected at Ibrox. Bojan Miovski is heading back to Scotland to bolster Rangers' attacking options, with a deal struck after his brief spell in La Liga with Girona. The striker had previously established himself as one of the Premiership's most reliable finishers during his time at Aberdeen, a reputation he'll now aim to carry into Glasgow. Meanwhile, a move for Everton forward Youssef Chermiti is also progressing, with the young hitman in line to join Martin's reshaped squad. Should all 3 transfers go through, Rangers would enter the next phase of the season with a refreshed spine, a new defender, a proven striker, and an emerging talent up front. Speaking yesterday, Martin remained measured but optimistic about the club's transfer activity. There's no set number on the amount of players I want in. There's obviously things going on behind the scenes. Every club is trying to spin plates, but we're trying to strengthen the squad. And we will do. There's a chance of everything in the next couple of days. There might be stuff really late or earlier. But we're playing with the squad we currently have. If that changes before Sunday, great. If not, we're happy with what we've got. With time ticking down, Rangers appear poised for a busy conclusion to the window, and Cornelius' arrival could be the first piece of the puzzle. In other news, Hamza Igerman has completed his protracted move to Lille, with a deal for Bojan Miovski agreed between Rangers and Girona. Igerman refused to come off the bench during Sunday's 1-1 draw with St Mirren, according to Russell Martin, and has had his heart set on a move to the French club all summer. RFC News reported in June that the League One outfit had made contact with the players' representatives to discuss personal terms, with an eventual departure for the Moroccan expected internally since the start of summer. Igerman joined from OSFR last summer in a deal worth £1.7 million and earned a first full cap for his country last season. The forward managed 16 goals in his debut campaign, but a visa issue held up his return to pre-season training, with Igerman only appearing as a substitute so far this season. RFC News reported last week that the club had rejected a loan offer from Lille for the striker. However, an improved bid was received following Sunday's flashpoint with Igerman travelling to France yesterday. But that is all for today's video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. We post all the latest Rangers news every single day, so join our fast growing community so you never miss out. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.